All right, y'all, welcome in. Another episode of the Ebb and Flow podcast. Great to be here with all of you. We're under the sacred tree on our property. Uh, Grandfather tree here. We've got a lot of beautiful trees on this property. It's really a treat to get to be out here among them. So today's episode, I want to talk about truth. Truth is something that's come up a lot. And in my men's group a week ago, had a really deep conversation on the subject of truth and what it means. What it means to follow your truth. I know I say that a lot. You guys who have been here listening to this podcast, you've heard me talk about following your truth for a long time. And just about every time I get to open up my mouth and share something that feels important to me, in this day and age, at this stage, I don't know if there's anything more important for an individual than to live in truth, which is the correction I want to make to this statement of following your truth. You know, every once in a while, a clip will get cut where I say, follow your truth, follow your own inner guide. And inevitably, someone will say, well, if everyone follows their own truth, then there's no objective truth. And my question to you is, what is an objective truth? Something that's true universally. There's not many things. Can we say the grass is green? That's true. Sometimes the grass is green in certain seasons of the year, but in other times the grass is fucking brown, dude. Sorry, the sky is blue. Is that an objective truth? Sometimes. Right now it's blue, but there's clouds. It's a little bit overcast in spots. The light of the sun shines upon all. That could be an objective truth. One that came to me this morning in meditation, at least for me, is that it's immoral and totally wrong to hurt children or animals. That feels like an objective truth. But other than that, what is an objective truth? I mean, the tree is solid. From one perspective of being, sure, the tree is solid, but if you look at the tree through a microscope, the tree is just a massive amalgamation of molecules with mostly space in between. So on another level, the tree, no, it's not solid. On a quantum level, the tree is not solid. Nothing is solid. That's just our perception. So when you're thinking about truth, it's important to understand what I'm talking about is a sense of accountability to oneself, to getting really honest with what is. And to unpack that even further, that means when we look at our life, we look at the circumstances of our life that we find ourselves in, how we're living, where we're living, the amount of money in our bank account, what we're doing with our time, how we feel, all of that is a direct reflection of the actions we're taking, the decisions we're making, the thoughts we're giving energy and attention to, where our awareness is. And all of that has to do with you, me. What am I giving energy to? Where am I putting my attention? Where am I choosing to act? What decisions am I making? All of these things are the sum, all of them put together are the sum of the reflection of your life, how it looks, how it feels, how you perceive it to be. There's nobody outside of you. There's no external thing that we can point to and put blame on. Just it doesn't, it's not possible. That's a total illusion. And so when I'm talking about truth, living in truth is a more astute description of the way of being in which I'm attempting to describe. Again, we start to use words, and words are really, they fall incredibly short of attempting to give us any definite picture of anything, really. Buddha said it himself. I say it all the time. One of my favorite quotes from Buddha is, when I speak, I compromise myself. And to me, what that means is he could say the ultimate universal truth. He could express some divine truth, piece of wisdom, and those words travel through the atmosphere. They go into somebody else's mind. They travel through a whole matrix of filters and that person's perception. And that message gets translated and interpreted in a very specific way that may not have anything to do with the initial intent of that thing that was expressed. So words are really, they're extremely limiting. But to unpack this idea of truth, we live in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is upon us. And something that is really important to recognize is that truth is the guiding principle of the age of Aquarius. It's become really easy for us to live in illusion. Look around you. There's endless distractions, right? There's so many things to get lost in. So many ways to continue lying to ourselves about why our life is the way it is, or why something in our life is the way it is. And so truth is the ultimate pathway towards our evolution, in the direction of our evolution, whatever that might look like. Some call it the new earth. The planet is vibrating at a higher and faster frequency than it ever has before, and it'll only continue to do so. And as human beings, as living creatures that inhabit this planet, it's on us. We have to adapt to that frequency. And a lot of what we're seeing right now is that adaptation taking place in real time. We're seeing it all happening. I mean, for fuck's sake, the Epstein files, this whole debacle. How many years now have we heard about the Epstein client list and all of this information that needs to come out and that's going to come out? And then all of a sudden they start to, a a president comes into office who says, I'm going to get you the Epstein client list. Everything will be revealed. And then what's the next thing that's said? Nah, it's all a lie. It's all fake. It was a hoax to begin with. None of it's real. Forget about it. Stop thinking about it. Huh? What? Now, whatever you think about whoever the president is, it doesn't really matter. What matters is we are being awakened into the illusions that surround us. We are being awakened to the illusions that surround us so that we can be born again in the light of truth, which is the ultimate. This is the ultimate pathway for humanity. It's where we've got to get to. Part of it comes down to technology. You know, technology has made it really easy for us to live in pathology, to live in illusion, to live in lies, to live in the little white lies. And part of the work I've been doing on myself for a long time now is to rid myself of that, to purify myself, my mind, body, and spirit in the light of truth, to get really fucking honest about what is in my life. What is my reality? How does it look? And recognizing that I am the agent of creation in my life. There's nobody else outside of me. There's nobody holding a gun to my head going, Eb, you're a piece of shit. Eb, you can't do this. Eb, you can't accomplish this. Eb, you're a failure. Nobody. There's nobody around doing that. Nobody's ever done that to me. Sure, people have doubted me. You know, people have second guessed my decisions, the things that I say or do, or just who I am as a person. Sure, words have zero impact on me unless I allow them to. So our willpower, we have the will to create, to change, to do whatever the fuck we want to do in this life as we see fit. But in order to do that, in order to sharpen that sword of will, we must be willing to get really honest and live in truth, live in the light of truth, because only then, where you know exactly where you are, can you get to where you're going. It's a critical piece of the puzzle to realizing your dreams, to realizing your vision of what you want to do. So truth, coming back to this idea of truth. Truth in the Aquarian age, it is the guiding light of the Aquarian age. Forget about love. For most people, I heard this earlier this week in this workshop I've been doing, which has been incredible with my old mentor, Joshua. I'll have Joshua on the podcast here sometime soon. Definitely. He's he's a wizard, man. One of my favorite dudes of all time, a true brother and a great mentor for me over the years. But something he said in this workshop is, for most people, love is a pathology. It's a way to scapegoat the reality of your life. And we've all felt this. It's a really easy way to live in lie, honestly. And to unpack that further, I really have to start a whole conversation on relationships, which I'm not interested in doing in this episode. So let's just leave it at that. You can look into that more as you see fit, as it interests you, love as pathology and what that means to you. And the true essence of love is found in truth. And so the guiding light of the Aquarian age is truth. And what does that mean? Well, in our men's group, we had some really interesting illuminations come up about truth. One of them being truth as a distraction. So this idea of my truth, I recognize that the concept of my truth is a really fragile, slippery ledge to base anything on. Because what does that mean, my truth, and where does that come from? Now, if you're a person who hasn't done any work on yourself and you're wounded and you're traumatized and you've spent most of your life in a victim state, your truth is going to be a really bizarre thing. It's not really going to be something that you should be leaning on or guiding the decisions of your life by, right? So I recognize this idea of following your truth is a very problematic concept. Now, living in truth, that's a much more powerful statement to make, because then it's about honesty, it's about accountability, it's about responsibility to oneself to do what needs to be done to get clear on the path to realizing your highest potential, which I suppose, if there's any destination, that's where we're going. And what does that look like? For me, realizing oneself in your highest potential is really about purifying and clearing out the inner, your perception, yourself, to the extent that there are fewer and fewer veils of illusion clouding your perception of reality. And what can you do from that place? What can you create? Anything you want, frankly. So what we have to understand is, what does that mean? What is truth? And what does it mean to re-establish or realign our understanding of truth as something to be lived in and felt, not something necessarily to be followed? Because, like I said, if you haven't done a whole lot of work, if you still find yourself in that wounded state, you're blaming people, you're blaming other people for your circumstances, you know what I'm talking about. You're pointing the finger. You've got a million different scapegoats. There's a million reasons why you feel like shit, you feel ashamed, you feel guilty, all of those things, etc., etc. And you're deciding to live in my truth. Well, my truth says to tell that person to go fuck themselves because they're a piece of shit. Well, that at times may be necessary. I'll be honest with you. At times it may be necessary to use your words in a way that really establishes a fucking hard line. A hard line of truth. Sometimes those words need to be said because that's just where you're being driven to. All of us are in difficult have been are in difficult relationships with various people in our life, and those relationships can sometimes drive us to do things and say things that feel really hurtful. However, in the moment, sometimes that's the medicine that other person needs. Now, granted, I'm not telling you it's okay to go and hurt people. However, certain times you need to be protected, someone else needs to be protected, something needs to be said about someone who's hurting you or hurting someone else or being abusive. Strength is necessary, and there's nothing stronger than truth. Now, where's that coming from? What's the intention behind it? What is the vehicle of perception that is expressing that thing that feels like it needs to come out? So, living in truth, coming back to honesty, accountability, being responsible to oneself and one's reality. This is the crux of what I am talking about here. So truth, really powerful concept, something that keeps coming up. Truth is all about the throat chakra, the color blue, self-expression, speaking one's truth, all about this throat chakra. Now, to clear out the throat chakra, you listen to a podcast I did with an incredible dude, a brother, Garen Jones, last year, talked a lot about the throat chakra, clearing it. Now, in my experience, clearing the throat chakra really is prerequisite on clearing the sacral, root, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. All of it needs to be working in concert. All of these things, this whole channel needs to be open in order for you to truly be able to express your truth. Now, you can work on that. You can get spot specific and work on that through chanting, through singing, through a great practice of mine is when you have some sort of thought come through, some sort of divine inspiration, some insight come through, you say it out loud to yourself so that your soul, your consciousness, your nervous system can receive it and integrate that into your being. That can be another really powerful way to clear the throat. But we live in a world of lies. We've come to live in a world of lies through the deception of media, politics, all this fucking insanity that we're swimming in right now. God, who knows what's real, right? One of the powerful things about social media is to get information from the boots on the ground, right? It's to get information from these citizen journalists, people who are essentially documenting their lives and catch these glimpses of reality that are happening right before them. And so we can have a little better sense of what's really going on out there. But again, I mean, outside of the 10-mile radius that I live in, I don't really know what's happening out there. You know, who knows if anything that's said in the news is actually going on? Who fucking knows? They can tell us whatever they want to tell us to create whatever feelings, emotions, thoughts, fears they want us to feel. So rid yourself of distractions. What are you consuming? Not just about your food. Eat good, clean, nutrient-dense food, whatever that looks like for you. You know, over the years, that's changed dramatically from one season to the next for me. But eating good food, keeping this body, this vehicle healthy and strong. In the tarot, you look at the card of the magician, which is essentially God in human form, the creator of one's life, the magician card. And you'll notice that the magician is wearing a white robe. Now, that white robe is a symbol of purity. It's a symbol of purity of the mind-body temple. So, as I am a huge believer of, it is such an important part of our ascension to living in our highest potential to purify the mind-body temple through food, movement, meditation, breath work, clean water, etc. There's a number of other practices that you can utilize to purify your mind-body temple, and I encourage you to follow those instincts and tune into what you're really interested in, what fucking like turns your light on, what gets you fired up. Follow those instincts, because that's the path for you. What lights the fucking fire, dude? Because we have to live from that fire. What is your want? Your want is directly linked to your fucking primal fire, the seed of flame that you came into this human body with. Your soul essence carried with it into your human body. That essence of flame, that fire is your fucking primal want, which is the driving force of everything you create in your life. What is it? Get really clear about it. Get as specific as you possibly can about that. And I guarantee you, you will start to see your life change. You will start to see your energy and your spirit change dramatically when you start to follow that fire. So follow your interests. Purify the mind-body temple. It's an incredibly important aspect of this thing that we're doing, this journey that we're on, especially where we're going, adapting to the frequency of the new earth, whatever you want to call it, the evolution of humankind. We're in it, man. Like, we're in it. There's a lot of words out there. There's a lot of spiritual masters, teachers talking about how, I mean, if we don't get our act together, man, you can read a handful of books that say, we're doomed for the apocalypse. I mean, that's been said, and whatever that looks like, I have no idea. But now is the time. It's shit or get off the pot. Get real or get the fuck on, dude. Because that's what we need right now. We need fucking real people living in truth, creating the world of the future. Lies are dead. You're sick of it. I know you're sick of it. The Epstein files, again, to reference that, because it's just such a magnified, obvious example of this, right? It's so crazy. I mean, all of the things that were perceived to be insane conspiracy theories 5 years ago, how many of them have been proved to be real and true? It's like, holy shit, what is going on here? We're all sick to death of the fucking lies, okay? And it starts at the individual level. You're not going to call your congressman and help them change, into being a truth teller. These assholes are getting paid millions and millions of dollars by all sorts of corporate interests. Pharmaceutical companies, big food companies, you name it. They're getting a check in their hand for writing a piece of legislature that helps those people. We're sick of the fucking lies, okay? So on an individual level, it's on us, man. Be the change you want to see in the world. Fucking Gandhi said it. Do we have to say it again? Live in your truth. Be the person you want to be. It's on you. Anytime you start pointing the finger, look at that, man. There's 3 more pointing right back at you, dude. That's never really made sense to me. But the the fact of the matter is, it's on you, man. Start living in truth. Live in truth now, right here today. I had did an epic podcast with a guy named Matthew Vincent yesterday. It's going to be awesome. I think that should release probably in the next couple weeks. And one of the things we talked about is this: we have to, as a society, as a culture, we have to get out of this all or nothing mentality. If you haven't been to the gym in 2 months, why do you think you're going to go to the gym and conquer the world in one day? Take baby steps, man. Do what you can do right here, right now. If living in truth feels overwhelmingly daunting, just start with the conversation that you're having later today with your boss or your coworker or your girlfriend or boyfriend. Like, just start there. Start really small. Start being impeccable with your word. Going back to the 4 agreements. Keep it simple, dude. Keep it simple. Stop lying to yourself. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop telling yourself you're going to do something and then, life caught up to us. Things got too hectic. Lost track of time. We'll do it tomorrow. No, if you say you're going to do something, just do it. Just do it. Start to build on those little victories. Get out of the all or nothing mindset It starts with one step, one fucking baby step, one little tiny step forward, man, is all the difference. Little by little, man. You take one little baby step, put one little baby step in front of the other, man, and before you know it, you've walked a fucking mile. Start small. Build the little wins. Get out of the all or nothing mindset. Start living in truth. That's the message for today. Okay? You're going to be challenged all along the way. Every time you come to the crossroads, you're going to meet the devil, and he's going to convince you of all the reasons why you just, man, it's okay. You don't need to change. Go back the other way. It's better that way. And in so doing that, you get nothing. The devil gets your soul. Okay? You're going to come to a lot of crossroads on this journey. A lot of places where you get to make a decision about what's next. You've got the fucking power, dude. You've got the will to choose. That is your God-given gift. If nothing else, you have that gift. Use it. I believe in you, man, and we need you. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Lots of love to you, man. Just keep doing it, bro. Live in truth. Get out of the all or nothing mindset. Take little baby steps. Make it happen. Okay? We're heading into we've been in it and we're going to do it. It's nothing to be afraid of. Like, it's just going to happen whether we're ready for it or not. Life just keeps happening, dude. Keeps getting a little weirder, a little crazier. I mean, God knows what's next. I'm ready for it, though. Take baby steps, man. Live in truth. Be impeccable with your word. Get it done. Make it happen. I love y'all. Enjoy the day. Peace.